All right, so it's been about a month since the end of the de minimis exemption, and I'm back with a little update. If you're new here, my name's Nikki and I'm a small business owner. I have shipped products and things that I've made all over the world for the last 15 years, and I usually make calming journal content and some small business and behind the scenes stuff like this. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future updates. All right, so we just yesterday switched US shipping back on across all of our stores. So Nikki Supply Store and nickymcwilliams.com as well. Across the Shopify stores, our .com websites, and the Etsy stores as well. Now, it has been a bit of a process. We've been waiting for Royal Mail to release the new codes on click and drop, and there have been multiple new codes appear for us. But after several phone calls, what I have been told, and I can't vouch for anybody else, but what I have been told is that the duty paid codes are the MPR codes. Now, at the moment, this is just a parcel rate. What they're saying is that there are going to be large letter rates at some point. They're working hard to get these for us, but right now it's just a parcel rate, which means they are really expensive. So maybe at some point there will be a large letter rate and it'll be more affordable, but right now we've switched on our shipping for the US, and for 100-gram, like, even it doesn't matter what shape the parcel is. Before we could send large letter shaped parcels and they were a little bit more cost effective. The cheapest parcel we can send right now is costing us around about 4 times what it did before. So that is a huge increase, which we do have to pass on to our customers. So I think the lowest shipping rate we've got right now is about £13.50. And they increase sort of steadily as the weights increase. So yeah, shipping is back on, but £13.50 is around about the cheapest that we can do it. We're not making any money off of that. That includes like a 50p handling fee that is being baked into the duty paid cost. And that obviously also doesn't include the extra tariffs that have been enforced. So at the moment we have sent a few items and it looks like they are progressing through the US mail system. We sent a few things last week and they have reached the US, which is great, but it looks like they're still waiting for clearance at customs, the tariffs being applied, and then the information being sent back to us for how much we need to pay. So obviously we have had to increase prices to make sure the tariffs are included for our US customers. So this is another cost that is then being passed on to our US customers, sadly. For things that are made in the UK, so things like our cushions, they're UK made, the tariff is 10% for those. So it's around about a 10% increase on the cost for our customers in the US for cushions. But then for things like our enamel pins and patches, all of those things which there are no manufacturing facilities for us in the UK to make those things, the rates for those are 30%. So what we have to do is we have to make sure that the country of origin is clear for every single item, and then when they get to the US, they are making sure that they are applying the correct tariff for each item. This is what I have been led to believe. So of the items that we sent last week, some of the parcels were of mixed origin, so I'm guessing that's what's taken them a little bit longer to get through. Now, I have spoke to other small business owners and they have had success over the last couple of weeks with items arriving, with duties being charged back to them via surcharge, via Royal Mail, and it does seem like it's working. But from our point of view, we are still waiting on the first few items, that we sent last week actually reaching the recipient. So I'm crossing everything that this is going to work, and this will hopefully mean that we can successfully ship things to the US again, even though it is much more expensive for our US customers between the cost of the postage and the fact that these tariffs and handling fees are being added. Right now, I'm estimating that it costs around about 4 or 5 times as much in shipping costs than it did before the Minimus ended. Now, the really interesting thing is, shortly after the end of the de minimis, it was actually found by several courts that these tariffs were actually unlawful. And from what I can see, it looks like potentially after mid-October, they may not be able to impose them anymore. And there's a hearing, I think, with the Supreme Court at the start of November, which should take a closer look and argue whether or not they are actually allowed to stand. So this could all take a backwards step in, a couple of weeks' time, but we will see. For now, we've switched back. We've switched on our US shipping again. Things are able to ship, even if they are expensive. And who knows, maybe we'll get a refund for all of the duties and tariffs that we've paid in the in-between time. But I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just trying to read as much as I can and relay our experiences as a small business during this time. So yeah, that is my update for now. I hope it's been somewhat helpful. Have you had any experience using the new codes with Royal Mail Click and Drop? If so, I would love to hear your experience in the comments. If you've had a great experience and things have managed to get through really quickly, then I would be very interested to hear those. We are still waiting, so I'm just crossing everything that things get through. All right, thank you so much for watching. This stuff is all new to me and I'm just doing my best to research it as best I can. If you would like to see an update on how we get on with next month, everything could change again. Be sure to follow along and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye for now.